learn what I think is the most important scale that you should know if you want to improvise piano? Well, many teachers would tell you that the most important scale is the major scale. Okay? But after a while, this scale can start to sound a little bit bland. So today I want to teach you my all-time favorite scale for improvising at the piano. It is my go-to scale. And the amazing thing is that this scale works on just about any song, style, or any chord progression. Now, before we start the lesson, I do want to mention something new that we'll be doing on this channel, and that is to start featuring some of our other teachers here at Piano with Jonny. And we have some amazingly talented teachers who have a ton of piano knowledge that we want to share with you. So stay tuned for that, and let's go ahead and dive into the lesson. All right, so you have a lot to learn inside this lesson. You're going to learn the scale, why it's important, a left-hand accompaniment to practice it over, 2 right-hand exercises, and then you're going to learn how to improvise with this scale using 2 essential grips and then 4 techniques. So there's a lot to learn. All right, so what is my favorite scale of all time to improvise with? It's called the major blues scale. I also call it the gospel scale, and it is only 6 notes. The notes are C, D, E flat, E, G, and A. That is it. It's only 6 notes. So why is this such an important scale to know? Well, it's because you can use this scale to improvise over just about any song, style, or chord progression. So for example, let's say you were playing Fly Me to the Moon in the key of C major. Well, you could use this scale to improvise. Or let's say you wanted to improvise over a tune like Girl from Ipanema. Well, you could use this scale on this tune. Or if you wanted to improvise over a tune like The Way You Look Tonight, you can use this scale. You could even use it on a pop or rock tune like Don't Stop Believin'. Check it out. So it's an extremely versatile scale. Now, before I teach you how to practice this scale and how to improvise with it, if you're enjoying this video, please hit the like button, and if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe for more videos just like this. All right, I want to teach you a left-hand accompaniment that you can use to start improvising with this scale. I'm going to teach you 2 accompaniments, one for beginner players and one for intermediate to advanced level players. So if you're more on the intermediate side, you can skip ahead. All right, if you're a beginner pianist or you're new to the piano, I do recommend that you use this very simple accompaniment called a 4 on the floor accompaniment. It's super easy to play and it sounds really great. You only need to learn 4 chords for this, okay? First chord, C major 7. You're gonna play it like this, super easy. We're gonna do this twice, then drop the top note down. We're gonna play that twice. And then we're gonna hop the chord up to a D minor 7 chord. Very simple. We're gonna play this twice, and then we're gonna go to a G7 chord, drop that top note down, and we play this twice. So here's the full accompaniment. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you're sounding great. By the way, this is called the turnaround chord progression. Now, if you're on the intermediate side and you want your chords to sound a little bit more crunchy and jazzy, I do recommend that you use this left-hand accompaniment called your Rootless voicing accompaniment. It sounds like this. Sound amazing, and it's actually really simple to play. Basically, on all of our chords, like our C chord, we're going to play these very cool chords called rootless voicing chords. They're chords without a root. So your first chord, your C chord, you play it like this, okay? Your second chord, your A chord, you can grab on the bottom, we're going to play it like this. super crunchy, jazzy chord. This is an A7 chord, but we have some cool, colorful notes in there called chord alterations. Next chord is called the D minor chord. We're going to grab it down here, looking like this. Really simple, called the D minor 9 chord. And then the final chord, our G chord, you can grab the low G here, and the chord looks like this. Okay? Now, if the names of these chords are going over your head, don't worry, they will make sense over time. So here are the chords one more time. C, A, D minor, G7. Okay? Now, if you want, you can go from the root to the chord. You can go C chord, A chord, D chord, G chord. But if you're playing with a backing track, you can simply play the chord if you already have a bass player in the backing track. By the way, if you want to learn more about the turnaround chord progression and all the various ways that you can play it in your left hand, check out the amazing turnaround course over at pianowithjonny.com. I'll put a link to that below. All right, let's practice our left hand accompaniment with the included backing track, and then I'll teach you how to improvise with that scale in the right hand. We're going to play with the slower backing track. We'll start with the beginner left hand accompaniment, and then I'll play with the intermediate left hand accompaniment. So here it is. 2, here we go. And the intermediate left hand. Here's our D chord and G. By the way, this lesson comes with 3 downloadable backing tracks at different tempos, so you can practice along with those. You can also download the lesson sheet music you're seeing up here on the top left of the screen, and you can change the key of this entire lesson with the click of one button with our smart sheet music. So I'll put a link to all of that below. All right, and the next step is to improvise with the major blues scale, but before we do this, it's very helpful to first practice a couple exercises to master the scale in the right hand with the left hand accompaniment. So I'm going to teach you 2 exercises, one for beginner level players and one for intermediate to advanced level players. All right, so if you're a beginner level player, I do recommend that you practice this exercise. This is a very simple 8th note exercise where I'm simply coming up the scale 1 octave to the C, and then I bring it down to the low C. Cross the 3rd finger over here to E flat. It's that simple. Now you want to play 2 notes in the right hand for every chord in the left hand. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Does that make sense? But you want to swing your notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So make sure you have this feel as you're practicing. All right, if you're on the intermediate to advanced side, I do recommend that you practice this exercise. Basically what I'm doing is I'm taking the scale and I'm playing it 2 octaves up and down the piano using triplets. Triplet, 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 triplet. Or 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and then I'm playing my rootless voicing chords in the left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, before I teach you how to improvise with the major blues scale, if you want to learn more exercises to master this scale, check out our major blues scale course over at pianowithjonny.com. I'll put a link to that below. All right, are you ready to start improvising with the major blues scale? First, I'm going to teach you 2 essential grips. This is the way that I like to think about the scale when I'm soloing, and then I'll teach you the 4 essential techniques that you can use to improvise with this scale. All right, grip number 1 is when you take the A and you put it on the bottom with your thumb, and then you play the other 4 notes like this. Okay, so I'm taking the C major blues scale, but I'm starting on the A. And so when I'm soloing, oftentimes I will create lines in this little A grip. Okay, Okay, so this is a very important grip to memorize, and I would encourage you to play it up and down the piano so that you can get it in your mind's eye. Now, in just a minute here, I'll show you some of the techniques you can use in this grip, but first I want to show you grip number 2. And with grip number 2, you're going to put the E on the bottom and then play the rest of the notes of the C major blues scale on top. So this is grip number 2, or what I call the E grip, and I do recommend that you play this up and down the piano. All right, now that you've learned your grips, you are now ready to learn the 4 essential improv techniques, starting with our first technique, which is the 8th note techniques, and 8th notes sound like this. Okay, they're very, very simple to play, and basically what I'm doing is I'm dividing each beat into 2 notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Okay, so a great way to practice this is to go to your A grip and just play 2 notes per beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and then after that C, I'll come back up to D, 4 and then we repeat. Okay, so very, very simple. All right, let's practice improvising with 8th notes in both of our grips with the included backing track. And you can choose any left hand that you want. Here we go. I might start in your A grip. Okay, play nice short little lines. Let's go up to our E grip. Notice how I grab the E flat with my index finger. Let's go down to A grip. All right, technique number 2 is the triplet technique. Triplets sound like this. Triplets are really fun because they move you around the keyboard a little faster, and so it can create a lot of excitement in your playing. So with triplets, you're going to take each beat and you're going to divide it into 3 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? It's that simple. Great way to practice this is with your left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Or you can do the E grip. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? All right, let's improvise using triplets over the included backing track. Here we go. Let's start with our A grip. Want to play nice short lines. Let's go to our E grip. A grip. All right, technique number 3 is the slide technique, which sounds like this. I love slides because they'll give your playing a really bluesy sound. So there are 3 slides that I love to use on the major blues scale. The first one is a down slide to D from the E flat. The second one is an up slide to E from the E flat. And by the way, I like to use the same finger for the slide. You could use 2 fingers, but I like to use the same one. And the third slide is an up slide to the A. So once more, D, E, and A. Now here's a quick little slide exercise that you can practice. We're going to do a down slide on the D, down to C, up slide on E, G with the thumb, okay, up slide on the A, up to C, and up slide on the A, down to G. That's it. And then we repeat the exercise. Up slide on the E, up to G, and then the A, and back down. All right, let's improvise with slides with the backing track, and here we go. Let's start with some D slides. Maybe some E slides. Maybe some A slides. Maybe some high E slides. That's a little harmonized slide. All right, technique number 4 is the turn technique, which sounds like this. Turns have a really nice kind of flashy sound to them. So what's a turn? Well, a turn is where you take a note from the scale and then you turn off of it, like that. So I'm just grabbing the note and then I go to the note above it, back down, and then to the next note. Now there are 3 turns that I like to use on the major blues scale. The first turn is on the C, second turn is on the D, and the third turn is on the G. Now here's a quick turn exercise. We're gonna start on the D, turn on it, and then D, back to C. That's it, really simple. And then the same thing, turn, and then back to D. And then we change chords. All right, let's improvise with turns and then we'll put all 4 techniques together. Here we go. Let's start with that D turn. Let's turn on the G. Turn on that D. All right, we're gonna put all 4 of these techniques together, but before we do this, if you wanna do a deep dive on soloing with the major blues scale, I recommend that you check out our major blues scale course. Also, if you wanna learn more about soloing in this kind of jazz ballad style, check out our jazz ballad soloing challenge where I'll show you some other really cool scales that you can use. I'll put a link to both of those courses below. All right, here we go. We're gonna mix all 4 of these techniques with the included backing track, and here it is. I'd start nice and simple with 8th notes. Maybe come up to the E grip. Throwing some slides in here. A little turn. Maybe some triplets. Hey, thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the lesson, please let me know in the comments, and also be sure to check out pianowithjonny.com. We have over 1,000 step-by-step lessons for all playing levels where you'll learn your favorite songs, styles, and how to improvise at the piano. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.